Hi everyone, for today we're going to actually go over the legacy of Vera Menchik. So she was, back then she was actually the strongest female chess grandmaster in the world. In the early 20th century, she was a ring world champion for a woman championship for 17 years, and basically, she was probably one of the greatest ever to play, for a female chess grandmaster, and a lot of her contemporaries couldn't match up to her. Even her, I guess, the second strongest woman's female chess player at the time. Her name was by the name of Sonia Graf. She was taught by the legendary Hall of Fame chess grandmaster, a former Russian grandmaster, Sigebert Tarrasch, who played against a lot of the elite world champions and grandmasters back then, like Capablanca, Lasker, Olyokin, and yeah. So the second ranked female chess player matched up against Menchik, and it was on a different level. Menchik just was so dominant and so overpowering against even the second strongest female chess player in the matches. She was totally dominating that guy, and it basically made the fourth world champion Alexander Olyokin question just the validity of the championship matches that Menchik's playing, and thinking and saying that, okay, so it's not really fair because Vera Menchik plays chess like a man, or plays chess that is not like a female chess player. So back then there were a lot of disrespect, a lot of really just downplaying the talents of female chess players back then. But Menchik proved to a lot of players that she deserved to be one of the very best, if not the greatest female player to ever play the game. So here, this is one of the games that we'll look at, and she was playing as black against this guy by the name of Sultan Khan, and this guy is actually one of the chess players who upset it, Jose Capablanca. An unknown chess player who had a brilliant game against Capablanca, the human chess machine, the one that has the most natural gifted talent in the world back then, the one who went undefeated for almost 10 years, in actual rated tournament games, long game. So this was played, so Sultan Khan played white, played against Vera Menchik in 1931, and this was at the Christmas Congress. So game starts d4, knight to f6, c4, e6. So after that we see knight c3, d5, c takes d, e takes d, knight f3, c6, queen c2, bishop d6, e3, knight b d7, bishop d3, castle kingside, bishop d2, and then we see rook e8, h4, knight to f8, castle long, b5. After that move we see knight g5, and after a5 we see e4. Okay, after that we see now b4 in this game right now. So we reach a very critical position, and it's really now up to what white wants to do. So in this game, Khan played knight a4. Now, if he tried to play e5, thinking he's gonna attack like that, well, this is what will happen after b takes c3. Just we have now maybe e takes f6, then c takes d2 check, and after rook takes d2, then after g6, maybe h5. Looks like white's threatening some checkmating ideas against Menchik here, but Menchik can actually reply and play queen takes f6. Because after knight takes h7, for example, knight takes h7, h takes g6, f takes g6, and this position after bishop takes bishop takes g6, black has this reply bishop f4, and after a move like bishop takes e8, bishop takes d2 check, after queen takes g2, d2. I mean, then black can actually play, I believe, bishop f5 after bishop h5, queen g5, and just trade. And then he's up a piece. Oh, I'm sorry, she's up a piece, and then she should be able to win the game. So this is my own analysis that I'm actually going over for you guys who are interested in chess. So original analysis that I'm actually going over. So another possibility is a knight to e2, but that leads to this variation that I analyze. D takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, and then bishop e6, bishop takes c6. Looks like a great move, right? You have threats, but not quite, because of rook c8, and that bishop is basically pinned. But even after king b1 to remove the pin, bishop to d5, and then that piece is lost. Now this is why knight a4 is played in the game, and play continues. Pawn takes pawn on e4, knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, and then now we see this move, bishop e6, okay, happen in the game. And then we see again this idea, bishop taking on c6 doesn't work to rook c8. Again, same idea. Even d5 here, it won't work because bishop takes d5, and the queen or the bishop would be lost in this game. Now if queen takes on c6, we run into well, white gets into trouble with rook c8 again. Okay, so in this situation, so white played king b1, Sultan Khan played king b1 because of this threat. And then here Menchik actually plays very energetically and aggressively by playing b3. So a nice sacrifice, temporary pawn sacrifice to damage the queen position. And the game the game continued, a takes b3. Now there's no possibility Khan might have probably play here, for example, queen takes c6, okay, but that doesn't quite work to b takes a2 check, and that forces king a1. And then here I think, based on when I analyze this, I believe bishop d7 is a possibility, very strong possibility, because after queen takes, for example, queen takes bishop takes a4, and you see black has threats. A4, bishop on a4, threatening that rook, and then he's going to play rook takes a8. Okay, so that pretty much forces, I think, rook c1 is a good alternative. And after rook takes a8, king takes b2, a2, I mean, and this position is very unclear, but I think in this position black can actually play for a win, but it might be well, maybe technically, maybe it might be a draw at best, but there's plenty of play. It's very interesting, unique. So after a takes b3, rook b8 was played in the game, and followed by knight c5. Okay, so interesting. Knight c5 just protects the pawn that's being attacked, because that rook and bishop were lined up. So Menchik made a concrete choice and play bishop takes c5, followed by queen takes c5. Now another way to play is actually here, this move. This is another possibility, but it's probably not that great because the bishop takes b3, as you can see. Even after a move like bishop g5, for example, just simply take the queen, and then you're basically winning the game. Okay, so in this situation, queen takes c5 is played in the game, and then here Menchik just took that pawn on b3, and it opens up the b file and threatening that rook on d1, and now that forces the rook to go from rook d1 to actually e1 now. And then here Menchik played knight to e6, and then this move, it's attacking the queen on c5, the pawn on d4. So we're actually going to end this video for this part 1 in this series. We're going to continue on covering the legacy of Vera Menchik. Okay, so you guys have a good day. Take it easy. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay safe from COVID-19.